Sorry, man.
Yeah, man. So I just got on. Amoxicillin
Yeah.
yesterday, and like it's definitely working. But I just fucking dude, I don't remember this when I was a kid. But this is like kicking my ass, man. Like I am exhausted. I feel like this is going to take a lot out of me. That's okay. So
I mean, shit just hits harder when you're not
45.
20 anymore. So
Yeah,
I
seriously.
get it. Um, I'm good to go. If you want to freewheel this one, wherever you want to go.
Cool. Let's do it.
Been watching Tom Brady roast to get warmed up here.
Perfect. Hello, and welcome to another episode of This Is Not Our Year. Doug,
Yo,
how are you doing?
what's up, man? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. What are we drinking today?
Yeah, you know, I always got random beers in my fridge. I think you guys know that. Yeah, various reasons. Realized I had another theme today. I wasn't planning on this, but I got this one. It says adult content,
Okay.
and I got this one, Honey Shot. It has a little triple X logo on there, adults only. So I guess we're doing a little bit of a porn theme with the beer today. These are both Connecticut beers, so we're not doing the map. The map will show up eventually, but we're not doing the map. So
I love it.
anyway, here's to some adult content. Of course, it's a DIPA, and it's made by Tribus, another local brewery here. And I don't know, I didn't buy this. Jenny did, so props to Jenny for today's adult content, which I'm sure you've seen here and there. It's gonna be cool when they, I don't know, maybe I'm saying too much, but like if they ever get porn on the internet, I'm probably gonna check it out. That's all.
Hey.
So I know they're working on it. Like I never really looked though, so heard things. Help me out here, man. I'm dying.
Well, take a
How
sip.
you?
Let's. I just found out I have steak in my teeth, so I'm trying to work on that issue right now.
Oh God, fat cats with your steaks in your teeth.
The mother-in-law was here for lunch today,
Which one?
and she.
Oh,
Not
your
mine.
mother-in-law.
Not my mother. My mother. My mother and I are not speaking
Which
right
one,
now.
Doug? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
that's a
good
whole
beer.
other story. Do we want to bore the guests with that? No, probably not.
I think we like to bore the guests with all kinds of variety and stories. So yeah, have at it, man. Is it
Uh,
like a Curb Your Enthusiasm style kind of like Tiff, or is it something you don't want to talk about? Because we can certainly move on.
I mean, it's dumb. It's certainly dumb, and I'm sure that the three listeners that we will have over the course of the next 7 months will also tell me that I'm probably being stupid, but I don't.
Cheers to you guys. You guys are special, by the way.
You are in so many ways, but yeah, I don't need to get into it. My mother just is uh, selfish, and she chooses to she chooses things in her life and puts them ahead of her son and her granddaughter, and I don't know. I'm not going to put up with it anymore. So that's the crux of it. And so I let her
Yeah,
know.
it's family. It's hard to make any good
Yeah,
content out of that. All the
yeah.
best going forward. But I on that segue, I will mention that I'm an uncle now as of last Saturday. I don't believe you're an uncle yet, right?
No. Well, I
But
am. I am through
oh,
marriage.
baby, oh, honey, your teeth are fine. Your teeth are beautiful, baby. Look at those white choppers.
I know. I just got this one
Look at
little piece
these.
right here. Yeah.
There's some cigarettes in the '90s and a lot of coffee.
Cigarettes and coffee. Hey, that's actually there's a bar restaurant in Orange County called Arc. It's Arc something libations, and they do great food, and they have a drink called cigarettes and coffee, and it's a bourbon. It's a smoky bourbon, kind of a play on an old fashioned type thing.
With
And
some butts in the bottom for
yeah,
extra
they put
flavor.
some ashes. They put a cigarette out in it after they smoke
It's
it.
basically from like the previous night's late night party, and then they just reserve
It's
them.
like that. It's like the leftover,
Yeah,
drink that turned into an ashtray, and then they shake it up
Yeah,
and
the
slowly.
yeah, you know what movie captured that really well? If anybody remembers it, Kids. That dude wakes up and just starts drinking every single wounded soldier he finds,
Oh, wasn't that
and
also the
then
dude that raped the girl that had AIDS
oh
and
yeah, well he wasn't
also
exactly.
got AIDS? That was such a
Yep.
fucked up movie. Such a
I
fucked
mean,
up movie. And his name was Casper. Like it was
uh,
so stupid.
uh,
Anyways,
look,
it was
we were so stupid in the '90s because honestly, we got scared as hell by that AIDS shit, all
definitely,
growing up, and
definitely,
Magic Johnson and all that.
definitely. I
I
definitely
think they've cured it, right? They're like messing around with that shit. It's
pretty much. I mean, they've cured that. They've cured cancer. You know, it just depends on what doctor you
yeah,
go
that's what I'm
and
thinking of. They're
who.
messing with the mRNA for the cancer vaccine.
It's. I mean, you can now take prep pills to like go out as a male who likes to fornicate with other males, and
Right.
if
Friday
that
nights in
other
North Hollywood, right,
if
Mike?
that other male happens to have HIV, if you've taken your prep pill, you should not contract the HIV. I don't know. Science.
You've been watching your prep commercials. I've been watching my Jardians commercits, but I guess I have
Oh,
a lot to learn
it's like it's definitely
about prep.
AIDS and fucking uh what is it, plaque psoriasis. That's the new. These are the new big. Isn't that what Jardians is? Plaque psoriasis.
Oh, I thought Jardians is when you fucked up your taint. I the
What
Paranisum.
is what actually? What is a taint? Now, tell the audience what a taint is.
Oh, you guys know what a taint is. It's a
Besides,
touchdown after interception, right?
yeah, yeah.
No, it's yeah, it's a little piece between your nutsack and your
So
asshole.
I gotta
Or
ask you: is this a Spoon the Band T-shirt?
oh yeah, yeah.
What's their famous song?
Uh, their most successful songs probably "I Turn My Camera On" or "The Underdog."
Are you a big Spoon
No,
fan?
yeah. Like over the years, they're one of my favorite bands. I go hot and cold on bands, but
So let's talk about
I'm
that because you have a
no.
very eclectic
Oh
musical
yeah,
taste.
don't get me started on Steve Albini's death, man. I'm reeling. That's the guy who produced In Utero and then like all the Breeders albums and like Where Is My Mind, Pixies, and so, like everything. Like he's one of those guys that kind of connected rock, kind of like what's the guy's name with the beard, Rick Rubin. Anyway, like what I've been doing though is like yeah, you're right. I got into way too much music. I love like just curating my own kind of music collection. I've been doing my own Spotify, at least at home. It's hard to, I haven't figured out how to take it mobile yet, but it's a lot of fun. It's one of my hobbies. I love collecting records. I collect vinyl too, but not as much. It's very expensive. But what I've been doing last like 10 years, because I have that guilt of kind of sampling records digitally, maybe without paying for them, um, is start to buy both band merch, and I go out and get copies of my favorite albums of all time, and I try to buy a couple of things a month, and I'm just like trying to all that penance, and that's a whole conversation on its own, like whether I would even know these bands if I didn't take the music, right? Um, and anyone can have an opinion on it. I respect all the opinions.
So
Spotify's
you're
kind of
saying
jerks too,
you're
but
you were at the forefront of Napster. Is that what you're trying to say?
yeah, I'm not trying to say it. I was, and I knew how to do Napster before Napster. My college roommate Pete, shout out to Pete Dorsey, up in from Rhode Island. He's out by you now. Actually, I'm sorry, he's back in Mass. He showed me how to FTP, where you directly connect to someone's computer in 1990, like six, and use that dial up to get MP3s. Baby, your teeth look fine. Stop worrying about your teeth.
I'm not worried about my. I got that steak. That steak is gone. I'm just listening.
Oh,
I'm
I thought
fascinated.
that or you're mocking me. I'm not sure, but
I am not mocking you. No, I am intently
no,
listening to how you used to pirate and hack. I think they
I
call
still
it
do.
hacking. Hack into
Oh
other
yeah,
people's
yeah.
computers.
It's kind of cool. Like you type in the thing and it like shows it connecting, like in the movies, like goes down this, and then it's like you're in, and then you go in and you click around into different folders. You're like, holy shit, the new Cypress on the computer.
So
Boom.
you were just doing it to steal MP3s. You didn't care about like dirty nudes of like people. You weren't trying to find blackmail stuff. You were just
Oh God, no,
you just wanted
no.
MP3s.
I don't know why you bring that up, but like, you know me, I'm not a big celebrity guy. I'm not. No, I don't give a shit about that. By the way, I don't even like pirate movies or TV shows. It's just really music. And I think it, now that you mention it, I think it traces back to the fact that I was like, also learned how to make CD mixes like way before everybody. I remember that and like fucking freaking people out. So, and go back before that, I was making cassette mixes off the radio, which I'm sure all us olds were doing, right? You got a couple of those, right?
I mean, I don't have many more, but I made them. So I will say to your point, to reiterate your point, I had a Samsung Galaxy like 3 and 4 and 20, whatever.
I still
That
have
was
one.
actually the decisive factor in me going Droid over Apple, was because back then you could download music on a Droid for free, and you had to
Oh
pay
no
for
shit.
it with iTunes. Yeah, so I mean, it would corrupt your phone and absolutely crash your phone
Yeah,
at some point in time, but it was free music for the 9 months that I had it until my phone crashed and I had to get a new one.
it's great, right?
And then it was great until I had to get new. I had to get an iPhone because when I started doing business things, like that, just
Oh yeah.
that shit didn't fly.
I mean,
So
it basically, if you're not a shut in like me, I get mocked all the time for being the green guy on the text thread still and all that crap. But honestly, guys, I don't give a shit. I kind of hate the Droid or whatever, the Samsungs now too. And I haven't upgraded in like 5 years. They're so mad at me. They're
right,
so on my ass about upgrading, and I'm like, no,
no,
I'm that guy. So
I'm not
yeah,
spending
no,
any more money.
yeah, no, it just goes back to it makes my brain happy, like sorting through music and finding things, discovering things that I still do it. And when I heard about Albini dying, I went and looked at his like uh, recording engineer or producer credits, and I was like, holy shit! And I had like 30 albums here, so I threw them all into a playlist. I've been listening to it for the last 24 hours.
Oh
So
wow.
there's a lot of things you can, yeah, that I've gotten to that point where it's like highly organized. It's like it's like year 25 of this collection. It's backed up like
So
9 times in different places.
is it in the cloud?
Yeah. And uh, yes, but I don't trust the cloud. So it's like backed up on Blu-rays here, dude. And like portable disc drives. I go hard.
Okay.
Yeah. Because by the
So
way, don't trust the cloud, guys. Like they can pull that plug any moment.
maybe, maybe let's not go into cloud conspiracies right now because that would be
I know that's usually for the end of the show.
that's a whole nother show. Yeah, you got a lot of beer to drink before we get down that rabbit hole. So, who would be your favorite band of all time, or at least who's your favorite band
Of
of
all
current?
time is very, very hard, but I can usually give you like a Rushmore.
Okay,
Um, and
we'll see.
that like there's a solid top three of oh god, now I'm blanking on this. I'm sorry, there's a solid top three of the Beasties, Radiohead, and oh god. Yeah, look at me. You put me on the spot. A top 10 bands, though, include Spoon, The Clash, maybe The Pumpkins, but that's really old. I don't listen to as much 90s music as I used to. Uh, wow. On the spot. Oh, Built to Spill is one of my top bands of all time. Not many people know them. So, yeah, obviously I've gotten real deep into it. The Pixies are up there, but I'm realizing the Breeders are better than the Pixies. It's always constantly evolving. I've listened to a ton of like records from the 70s and 80s the last couple of years. I'm astounded at how good, and I've said this before, but I'm astounded at how good the Stevie Wonder albums were in the early 70s. Like 4 of them right in a row that are like perfect. You know what I mean? And there's examples of that in every genre, all the way up to I don't know. By the way, how about this for some topical things? Yeah, you a Drake man? You a Kendrick man? Out in
Oh,
L.A.
dude,
I'm
I
kidding.
am, I am,
You're a
I
Drake man.
am. You know, I have always said Kendrick Lamar is the best lyricist of current modern day, in my opinion. And Drake just makes
It's a pop
stupid
star.
music. Yeah, exactly. And you know, Drake's first two albums were good, and they were fun, and they were, you know, they had bangers on them, and you could listen to them on repeat, and they were happy. And then he just like got into this like,
Sad
even my
boy
wife,
shit.
yeah, my wife says it. She's like, "Who hurt you, Aubrey?" Like he just started making these like
Yeah.
fucking like sad, you know, like someone fucked his girl or his mom or his sister or whatever, and then I don't know, like Kendrick just took him to task out here, and that all that stuff that has been said, it's really everything that's going on in the music industry in general since this Diddy thing came down with, you know, the pedophilia and the homosexuality and the fucking grooming and all that stuff is like it's like Me Too times two, right? And it's kind of scary, but I don't doubt any of it. And it looks like, you know, based on speculation, that Drake is part of that.
Yeah,
And
it's unsurprising, unfortunately, right? Um,
I don't know about
and I mean,
surprising, I
it's a
guess.
whole genre that has always had a little bit of anti women kind of slant. But I'm my opinion on hip hop doesn't matter, right?
Sure.
I will say though, throughout the entire like all this time, I've always kind of had this sense in the back of my mind that Drake was like just profoundly whack. And
Yeah.
so all this has been kind of validating just to see just Kendrick absolutely eviscerate him. I've
Yes.
heard two of the tracks. So one of them sounded so dark I didn't even want to listen to. Like I didn't want to get into it.
Oh,
But I've
dude,
heard
you should
Euphoria, and I heard the third one with DJ
Meet the
Mustard.
Grams.
No, that's the one I didn't hear.
That's the one that you should hear. That's the
Not One
one
of
where,
Us maybe is the one. Yeah, like the Meet the Grams is where he gets
not
real.
like us,
Yeah,
not like us, or something like that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You should listen to all of those. And like, I don't know, Drake's diss tracks they're okay, but I don't know. I think Kendrick just
It's different
absolutely
weight class, as you mentioned. Drake's got no shot there.
no. Well, and you know, then he just, you know, murdered him for having 20 ghostwriters and stealing all of
Yep.
his, you know, he
He's been
reps
talking about that for years, so it's
and
not a
he
new
rep
topic.
no, but he reps his crew. The OVO crew is where, you know, the Toronto October's very own crew is his crew, and like apparently half those
Again,
guys,
that's whatever that is. It sounds whack.
apparently all those guys, yeah, exactly. Well, apparently all those guys hate him because you've never heard of another artist from OVO that I mean I haven't. Maybe if you're deep into the you
Yeah,
know annals you have, but
the
apparently
Canadian underground hip hop.
yeah, he steals all their music and then just makes it his own. So I don't know, man. For what it's worth, it was interesting fodder, but give a
Oh
shit,
hell yeah!
give a shit. But
Let's remember some crews. I kind of missed the Flip Mode Squad. What other crews were there?
Flip Mode, there was Terror Squad. That was
Oh
with
yeah,
Fat Joe and
that's
Big
right.
Pun. There was the Rough Riders. That was
Mm-hmm.
DMX's crew.
Like Eve and all them.
EVE, yeah, exactly. There was fuck, dude, I don't know, man. Now you got me.
Leaders of the New School. Was
Oh, that
that a
was just
crew technically?
no, that was a band. That was
No, that was a band.
those are
Who am I
Busta
thinking
Rhymes
of? When
started.
they got with Tribe and they released some stuff though. I thought they had a name, maybe not.
No.
Um,
Oh, your brother
and
said Drake slaps.
yeah, well, he would say that.
Yes, he seems like a Drake fan building sheds out in the
No, he was.
backyard.
There a toilet in there yet?
Is there a toilet behind the woodshed? So
I've actually seen the shed. It's pretty nice,
okay. So
or at least pictures of it.
is the shed also a shrine to Drake inside?
No, it's probably a shrine to like Humphreys McGee or something.
Humphreys McGee, what's that? Is
Ween.
that some?
Actually, yeah, that's kind of like a jam band.
Oh, so did you like jam bands? Because like
No, hated it.
no, right, dude. Like I
Um,
like so you and me have always had deep, you know, deeper thoughts into different types of genres of music. but I never, I liked Dave Matthews when I was in college because whatever.
Yeah,
But it was kind of a jam band, but like
I
fucking
could.
Fish was
Yeah,
terrible. I didn't enjoy him. The Grateful Dead was not my thing. I just never got down with jam bands, and I,
you know,
it's just a
yeah,
genre that I didn't enjoy.
kind of same thing.
It's
I always loved harder shit. If I grew up in like different circumstances, I would have probably tried to start like a hardcore punk band at some point because I still want to. Um, yeah, I never liked the jam band scene, but like I've been aware of Fish since the early '90s. The kids were listening to it in South Carolina like way back then, and like what was that other band from Georgia? Widespread Panic. They're okay, but that's about as far as I go. Um,
yeah.
We've obviously up here in the Northeast, we've been around a lot of Fish fans, you and I.
Oh man, and to your
Tough
point,
crowd.
it was just never like I liked hip hop when we were in high school. I had a little rock and roll phase, and then since then I've
Right.
gone down like every genre. I've done the hip hop, I've done the country, I've done the EDM, I've done
Yeah.
the reggae, and everything that all the offshoots that are all of the above. But jam bands, I didn't want to go hang out with some hippie woman with like fake dreads and hairy armpits that was like overweight and wearing some tie-dye dress and like a glass blown mushroom tied with hemp around her neck, smoking a shit ton of weed. Like it was not my jam.
Yeah. Oh, nice. I remember the day Jerry died. We went to Cranberry Park, and because that's what we did in 1995, and
Uh-huh.
probably just drinking beers with Jay Smith or something. But all the hippies like just turned out and made it a party, and we were just in that big field. And I remember we were just kind of sitting there mocking them. I mean, we were little assholes, right? But like, yeah,
Right.
I don't know. Like the thing about hippies is they like didn't really follow through on their vision, did they? Fucking boomers.
What
They
was their
they,
vision?
they all
What
went
was their
corporate.
vision? What was their vision?
Oh, utopia, free love, fucking, probably definitely not where we are today.
No.
And,
No.
and all those idiots are still in control of the government. They won't leave. They're all like 80-year-old senators now.
Right. That,
So,
I mean, we could talk about politics here for a second.
oh no, I don't want to, but yeah, if you
Okay.
have something to say, fucking
I
spout
don't
off.
really have it. I have nothing positive to say other than like
No,
I'm not looking forward to the election this year. That's
no, wait, we're all pretending it's not happening, but here it comes.
here it
But yeah,
comes.
no, I mean, back to music, dude. You're right. Like every genre has something. I'm sure the jam bands have something in there. I even included that like kind of a roast in my best man speech, like how I like showed him all this awesome music, and I was like, except all that jam band shit, and it went over pretty well with the crowd, so they got my
he
back.
he just wrote back. People his age drifted towards jam music because there was no alternative rock. And
In the
I'm out of
'90s.
it now, but we had no grunge, bruh. That's what he said. I don't
Oh,
know.
oh, okay. He's
Your
talking
brother's not.
about like he's talking about the
Your
late '90s,
brother's.
early 2000s.
But
That
your
was a
brother's
pretty
what?
rough
How
time.
old is your brother? He's like 37 right now.
He's 8 years younger than me, so
Okay,
I
yeah.
don't want
So
to do the math,
37.
but
37.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Because you're
yeah.
45, right? Yeah. So he's about to be 38. Okay, look at that. So yeah. So I'm 45. So he's 8 years younger. So I don't know. I don't know what the fuck. I guess that would be like when I was
It,
like a
it
senior
was
in
around
college.
9/11. Like they were all in high school. I
Yeah.
think he graduated like '05, maybe.
Yeah. This sounds terrible.
So like yeah,
Terrible.
he actually grew up with like Limp Bizkit and Hoobastank and all that. I don't blame him as much. We
Yeah.
were a little spoiled
Lincoln
in the '90s with grunge and
Lincoln
G funk
Park.
and all that. Yes, Linkin Park. um,
I don't know.
I don't know,
I
man.
don't miss 90s music. You say you've been listening to it, but like I don't know, man. Some of that
No,
stuff
I
was
don't
like
listen to anything that was on MTV or on the radio. Like I don't go back to like Pearl Jam records even. But
yeah.
I do listen to all this stuff I missed, including this band and like back to Albini again, like all those kind of rougher bands that were a little more underground. So yeah, I'm that guy, but God damn it, I love it. I don't care.
Yeah, no, me too, man. But the funny thing is, on this musical, you know, adventure, we're taking a pause from shitty sports that we are trying not to talk about.
I think these episodes do better anyway. So
I'm not listening to music right now, Doug. That is, and that's not.
it's good for your mind.
It's music's good for my mind.
Well, it's good for my mind. And there are days when it's like, I don't like, I just don't want anything on, and I make myself get it started, and I put on a shuffle, and then I do feel myself feeling better. So
It's not that
it's
I
kind of
don't
like
like music.
exercise.
I've been I've been through a lot of the genres that I like. I think rock and roll now is garbage. Fucking hip hop now is garbage.
Um, yeah, I
And
don't know.
like I don't know. I'm old, so maybe that's what the problem is I'm just turning into my father. And like, you know, I've actually been listening to like classical lately,
Good.
and I'll still go down.
That's great for the kid, by the way.
And I'm also listening to like spa, like yoga music. That's what
All
I've been
right.
putting on when I have a
You're
choice.
relaxing. You and fucking Andre 3000. Andre
Oh,
2000.
dude, did you listen to that fucking album? That was hard to listen to. I gave it a shot, but it was definitely
Yeah, I mean, I run through every album I get. I like try to run through a couple of times at least, and that was kind of just background shit.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like
So
we all kind of forgot about it, right? Like immediately.
immediately, yes.
Yeah,
So I don't know. It's been podcast city lately, and
yeah.
I've been down this rabbit hole of fucking fantasy dynasty football podcast, and
You and Josh are sickos. You guys need to break off show.
it's just
uh,
I find myself like questioning myself, like, what are you doing, man? This is a waste of time, like it's a waste of time. So I
it's
gotta,
life. You do what you want. You do what you want. I mean, if you have a utilitarian view of life, there's a reason you're doing it. It's making your brain happy. We're all talking about dopamine tracks, right? Traps. So
right.
I get it, man. I watch shitty '80s movies sometimes, and I'm like, why am I doing this? But there's something about it I love.
That's just reliving your youth, I believe, because I do that
Yeah,
sometimes as
kind of.
well.
Yeah, like going
Like
back to that era.
I put on Ghostbusters the other night, and Alex was like, "This is hurting my eyes," and I'm like, "But it's great humor.
Why
It's
is it
great.
hurting her eyes?
So it's like granular. It's not HD or whatever the fuck
Yeah,
people
there's
say.
no. Yeah.
So, oh man. But
That the
anyway,
commercial for that shit freaked me out when I was like 6. I just want to say, but with Slimer like coming down the hallway, I saw it and lost my shit. I have a distinct remember of Slimer scaring me.
have you seen the new one,
No,
Ghostbusters? I'm assuming no. That's a dumb question. I should have already known the answer to that.
I suck. I like a dirty secret. I didn't even get to see. I didn't get out to see Dune 2.
I didn't either. Dune 1 was like whatever to me. I'll watch it when it comes out on
Oh, Dune 1 was
whatever.
awesome. I
It
thought.
was fine. I'm not rushing to see it in the theaters. My wife also has astigmatism, and every time, dude, it's without fail. Every time we go to the fucking theater, she gets a migraine because it's just
Oh
like
no.
fucking staring at the screen. She always forgets to bring her glasses. On
Yeah.
point right there. And then by halfway through, she's like, "I'm gonna throw up because I have a fucking migraine." And I'm like, "I guess I won't see the end of this movie." And
Yeah.
glad we
And
came
she
out
didn't
here.
even get to the bottom of the popcorn bucket where
No.
something else was, right?
Yeah.
God,
Yes.
man. The
God damn
ladies
it.
these days.
God damn it. God damn it.
Don't get me started. Oh,
But
I'm kidding.
let's talk a little sports, Doug.
Yeah, man, if you
Uh,
want.
I know your
I was
season's
warming up
over.
here watching the Tom Brady roast. Did you watch that?
That was great. I actually enjoyed that thoroughly. I know it was it was all written out prior and on teleprompter, and I think with
For certain people,
the
right?
I think for all of them it was on a teleprompter, and I think you have to do that, especially when you have non-comedians trying to make
Yeah,
jokes
well,
like
yeah.
this.
When you have
I
Drew
think
Bledsoe up there, which he did all right.
he was kind of funny. Gronkowski was weird, and Edelman.
I haven't gotten that far. I've done like the first hour. I was like, oh no, 3 hours. I don't think I'm making it through 3 hours. Like Kevin Hart.
I watched the whole fucking thing. It was great.
All right.
Except the most cringiest part was the end when Brady tried to roast everyone, and he's just such a douche. Like he's
kind of saw that coming.
He's as douchey as you would expect him to be, and I don't know. I don't find humor. I don't find douchebag humor. I guess if I was a Brady fan, it would be cool. But some of the stuff he said, it wasn't even funny. It was just more like living that persona of being a douchebag
with his fucking like plastic face. Like he could hardly react to the jokes.
Did you see Kim Kardashian's part yet?
Yeah, that's the part I just watched. So real quick, shout out to Nikki Glaser. I thought she was the best so far. But yeah, I saw the Kim part just now.
Tony, you haven't gotten to Tony Hinchcliffe yet. When you get to him, he's the best. He fucking.
I paused out on two white guys I hadn't really heard of. They're all right, but
the two at the same time we were talking about with Kreischer and Segura when they were doing that stupid like that was like the least funny of everything.
Okay,
but you haven't gotten to Tony Hinchcliffe yet, and he I guess is the host of Kill Tony, which is I guess the #1 podcast in the world. I've never heard of it. I downloaded it after he did his little bit, and it was hilarious. I haven't listened to his show yet. I'm sure I will once I get through all the Dynasty shows from the week. Super important stuff here.
Yes. Only 4 months to the season, and I've never heard of Tony either, and I'm not a podcast guy. I'm listening to music, but all right. It's good to know. I do feel like when I watch something like that, because I am such I do my own thing. I do reconnect with pop culture a bit. I'm like, okay. I didn't know who the black lady was. I had no idea who that person was.
She's I think she's been in like one thing I've ever seen with her before.
Yeah. So yeah, we're out of touch, but that's all right.
That's the
we still got the Mets, right, baby?
Yeah, let's talk about the Mets.
Did we just do a half-hour intro? Holy shit!
We did. We talked about music and podcasts and the Brady
stuff
roast.
Is good.
yeah. Let's. We're soon going to talk about dystopian alien societies.
Oh, come on!
You just got to get through that next beer, and then we'll get there.
Oh, I thought you meant the Mets as a dystopian alien society. It would explain a lot.
Yes,
but that or the Islanders.
That could be the fans, right? That could be fans,
right?
So
we're all trapped.
Yes. So
no, I don't know, man. Where you want to start? Because I do have some questions for you.
Okay, let's start with the Islanders. Season ended, year-end presser. Because I just want to get this out of the way. Wah is coming back. Lamoriello is coming back. Full support.
Yay!
Only 3 unrestricted free agents. A bunch of restricted free agents. Team's probably going to be very similar than it was to last year. Anything?
Did I send you that graphic of all the multi-year contracts they have coming up?
No, but the only.
Oh, it's gross.
They have a couple guys coming off the books next year, but other than that, we have like Clutterbuck and Martin that are free agents this year, and maybe one other guy that are unrestricted.
I swear to fucking God, if they give either of those guys multi-years, I love them, but I swear to fucking God, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know what are we gonna do. Do you want to talk about this?
No, but instead of like actually putting it up as a graphic and like producing this show, I'm just gonna see if this works. Nope, it doesn't.
Does not.
No, it does not work.
Nope.
Almost.
There you can see it. There you go. Yep.
I kind of forgot about Pellick 5, Mayfield 6. We've been over. I hope you like this squad because we're stuck with them.
I think that's basically it. That's basically it.
And and the sad part is, I think they are a team on decline, or a core group on decline. I don't think. I don't know.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think
maybe Dobson gets better. Barzy is like peaking.
Yeah, Barzy and Horvat. Are we gonna go into next year with Cizikas as our top line left wing? I hope not. Yeah.
So basically what you're left with this group is hoping that guys who have been good in the past can somehow get that magic back, right? There isn't too much trending up, and there's a lot trending down.
Correct.
They obviously.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was like, Lou's obviously got his workout out for him. The only thing I'm encouraged about is that it does sound like he's going to work with Patrick. So even if Patrick doesn't know what he's doing, at least he might like break up this like country club kind of thing with the roster, and maybe we don't automatically bring just run it all back. There will be a tiny bit of money, right? But you got to save the money for Dobson's extension too.
Yeah, I
I don't
think
know.
I think this next year is going to be like kind of purgatory where we are pretty much going to run it back. I wouldn't be shocked to see Martin and Clutterbuck come back on 1 year deals and Riley coming back on a 1 year deal. And
I think he's almost a borderline must resign, and if not, someone very, very similar.
yeah, it's just did he price himself out of what we
Yeah,
could pay him?
maybe.
Because he's probably going to
Hopefully,
get
no one was paying attention in the
he's
league,
probably going to get 3 to 4 million on the open market.
and he kind of deserves it.
He had a great year. He had a great year. So, or are we going to just re-sign Aho and just plug him on as the sixth guy, or are we going to let Bulldog finally try and be the sixth defenseman? I don't know, man. But
That's another bone to pick, by the way. They're going to lose Robin Salo. Like they never even tried him. Iski might bolt. Who knows? It's just it's hard being an up and coming player on this organization when the roster's locked basically every year.
right.
So,
and I don't know, man. I just
I'm not saying these guys are great, but it's like you never see them.
You never see them, and I just don't see much turnover. I see it. I see us running it back. The only thing I can say that may be a positive is, Mayfield played most of the year injured, all of the year injured, and a couple other guys had some nagging injuries all year, and hopefully they can get through those injuries and come back healthy this next year, and maybe at least take that step forward of going back to league average or whatever their average was, because Mayfield was a complete waste of space last year.
I'll be happy to eat my words, but
right,
it's just an awful, awful contract. Hey, did you watch Christian Scott debut on Saturday? Oh, nice, because I didn't. I was out. So talk to me. I've seen the line. I've seen the scouting reports, but give me the eyeball.
He was great. He, his first inning definitely had jitters, gave up a run, worked out of a jam, and then settled down. And I think he went 6 innings.
He went into the 7th, right? 6.2.
Maybe. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what his line was, but he was pretty. He retired. He had a streak of 7, 8 guys in a row. I can't remember exactly what it was.
What stood out? The velocity, the pitch mix up.
He's got a 96 mile an hour fastball. He's got I don't know exactly how to describe it. I think I'd call it a cutter. He's got it's like a baby slider in on lefties, and I think that is what makes him hard to hit, because he's pretty good against lefties.
See, he's getting a lot of jam shots on them.
Yeah, he gets in on their hands with it's like a cutter. I want to say it's a cutter, and I want to say he had a sinker, he had a 96 mile an hour, almost like a rising fastball. I guess a 2-seamer.
Oh, I like it. Oh, Sid Fernandez action.
And he had a little sinker too, and he had a cutter, and so he was able to go the top of the zone, the bottom of the zone, and the in on lefties. That's what I remember, at least. I don't.
It's one game. I was just kind of wondering.
And he looks the part. I mean, he has a baby face, but he's 6'3". He's not a small guy, I don't think. I could be totally wrong. He's probably 5'9" or something like that. But yeah,
no, and
he looked good. He looked good, and he didn't look.
And by the way, I want to apologize for last week's show.
Well, why?
What?
Why is
because I was I had too much of this probably. What were we drinking last show? I kind of forgot that he had been pitching in Syracuse. I said he came up from Binghamton. It was just one of the many errors. I go back and I'm the producer now. I've been doing that shit, so I realized I was a sloppy show.
Yeah, we were getting back on the horse. 5th round pick out of the University of Florida in 2021. So he was a college guy. He's almost 25. He came from Syracuse. He was 3-0 with a 3.20 ERA and 5 starts, 25 innings pitched, with 36 strikeouts on 94 batters faced. So he struck out more than a third of the people to face him. And he did that almost. He struck out 6 out of 25 guys on his debut and went 6 2/3 innings. Let's hear your point. He gave up 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk. So he had that tough first inning, and then he just went on cruise control. And it was very hard to hit. Now I'm going to look up his repertoire because I want to say I'm right, but I don't know if I am. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, while you're checking that, Scott is the first one to arrive, and I always kind of keep an eye on prospects, but I think it's going to be finally fun to watch prospects as a fan. I think officially we're in like, oh my God, there's guys everywhere doing things, but like we mentioned Jonah Tong for a second, and Yonder Suarez last show. My God, Brendan Sproat had another great outing down there in either Florida or Brooklyn. Look at me again, I'm screwing it up. Brooklyn. Also, Brooklyn. And then Nolan McLean. Have we talked about this guy yet?
Oh,
that's a fun prospect, man. And I slept on him maybe on the pitching aspect. I didn't realize he was that good. He's probably more developed as a pitcher than a hitter. Meanwhile, he has a 900 OPS, right, in a small sample. So
yeah, and I think that was
really cool prospect.
That was why we were excited to draft him, because we were willing to let him do both. Play both sides of the ball, which there's not a lot of guys who can do that. There's Ohtani, who before Ohtani was able to do that. Maybe Brooks Kieschnick, I don't know, and
Babe Ruth.
Yeah, right.
That's basically it.
So yeah, if it makes total sense to go out and here we go and let this guy try and become the next guy, because it's all about like what I've learned about baseball from when we were a kid to now. It's it's roster flexibility at this point in time. And if you got a guy that can DH and play the outfield and then pitch every 5th day or go into the bullpen, come out of the bullpen,
even if they trust him as a pinch hitter, right?
Right. So I think that to me is exciting. Very exciting.
It is. He's got some pop. He strikes out a ton at the plate, that is, right? But he's he's a legit dude. 3rd rounder, I believe, right? Last year.
Somewhere around there. I'm not sure. And Jonah Tong is a Canadian kid that had. Your brother said, "Did you just crack a Four Loko?"
I wish.
Dude, did you ever? When was the last time you drank a Four Loko?
Probably some shitty afternoon at Brick House in Stanford.
Saturday.
Back in the day,
Saturday.
Probably with John.
Saturday, bro.
Yeah. So last Saturday. Yeah. Wait. We got a keg.
When I first moved to California and I was living in Newport Beach at my little beach apartment, there was this liquor store that you could walk to down the street, and they sold Four Lokos. And if me and my buddy wanted to get after it on a Sunday or a Saturday, we would go in there and we'd get 2, and we would just fucking crush.
That's all you needed. Yeah, you're talking about the original recipe, right? The one that got banned.
These are the subsequent secondary recipe, which still got you nice and tipsy. But the first Four Lokos, I mean, we drank those back in high school. I can't remember, dude. I'm sure I had one. I don't remember if it was.
I was trying to remember Cisco the other week. Do you remember that shit? It was like cough syrup. Yeah.
And Alizé.
Our brains turned Alizé. God.
Do you remember that little Korean bodega in
Ritz?
Norwalk? Ritz. And we would go there.
Mom and Dad earmuffs, but like I'd been going to Ritz since like '94.
Dude, you could walk in there with like a student ID and hand it to the guy, and you could walk out of there with enough liquor to.
Although no, he would get kind of mad if you went in the front and tried that shit. It was always like, go around back.
Oh, I would walk in the front, and I went to Arnold's Bakery, and I got a state ID made. And it was fucking retarded, dude. It just said State of Connecticut ID, and it said I was 21.
Mm-hmm.
And I was ballsy. I'm like, fuck it, I am gonna
Looks
try it.
legit.
It did not look legit. It looked ridiculous. And I walked into this place and I gave it to the guy, and he just like rang it up.
Oh yeah,
But the best was Asif. Remember Asif? He used to fucking go in and buy underage alcohol
yeah.
from us.
You and I had a couple of over 21 enablers when we were in high school. Just leave it
Yes,
at that.
yes, yes,
Asif was one of them. Asif was a legend, former coworker of both of ours at Dunkin' Donuts. Shout out
yes,
wherever you are, you crazy bastard. Hopefully
yes,
not at a shitty bar in New Rochelle still.
yes. Hopefully not at a
Speaking of
shitty bar in
things
New
you could do when
Rochelle.
you're underage, God bless New Rochelle, right?
God, what was that
That
called?
Iona campus. Hear that, Ted?
O'Brien's.
Oh, Brian.
What, the cockroach bar?
Yeah,
Keep the
and there
lights
was
off.
even a shittier one like across the street, right? Like Champs or something. I forget what it
Yeah,
was
I don't
called.
know, dude. I don't know, but I'll never forget the time that Lisa Canavino called my parents from the payphone out front and told them that she lost her keys and that we needed a ride home. And I was like,
Oh, she didn't lose them. We know what
"Oh
happened.
no, no, we know what happened." And I was like, "Why did you call my parents? Why wouldn't
Hmm.
you call your parents?" Oh,
Yeah, and it was
that was
definitely
not fun.
way too many people to get stuffed into your dad's car. It's
He had
like
a
six of us, like shitty
19 it
refugees.
was a 1987 Plymouth Duster
Yeah.
with about 40 drunk kids in the back of it, and Norm screaming "shut the fuck up" to everybody, mostly
And
me.
at least one of them threw up on the way home.
We had to pull over on the side of the Merritt Parkway so that she could.
Wasn't me.
But no, it was not you, it was not me, but I definitely remember this drive home. I was like, fuck it, I know I'm in trouble anyway, so I'm just gonna run my mouth.
Oh
And run
yeah.
my
No,
mouth
it
I did.
my
Run my
God,
mouth I did.
if I would pay for a transcript of that ride home,
Oh,
especially because I was stuffed in the trunk with Jay Smith.
yes. And I was just
It
all
wasn't
my
really the
dad.
trunk, but what was that? A
Oh my!
Duster? Plymouth
Yeah,
Duster?
It was like a 1980 Plymouth Duster. It was like one of the
Sick.
original hatchbacks, and the hatchback was like the
It's a
size of a
shaggin' wagon.
living room. Yeah, it was like I don't know how this car was stupid, but we were in this car, and it was Norm's car for a while because my dad, God rest his soul, did not want to spend money on a car. He would buy like the fucking jankiest, most fucked up car with tons of miles on it from like 20 to 30 years old, and he would just run it. He'd pay like $500 for this car. He'd take it in, he'd get it a tune up, and he'd run it into the ground and then he'd do it all over again. He'd buy another $500 car, and he would get it a tune up, and he would run it until it stopped running. And I just never understood it. I never understood it.
What was his? Yeah, what was his prime car? Like, he was driving that Suzuki. What was it a Suzuki
He had a
fucking?
purple Geo Tracker for a while. Yeah,
Oh God,
yeah,
that's right. Like,
because they
I
bought,
couldn't
if you
remember which one Mayor drove and which one he drove, but it was like
yeah. So my mom bought a Geo Tracker, brand
the
new,
the white one.
the white one. Oh, dude, we had
Yeah.
three at one point in time. My mom bought a Geo Tracker brand new, and my sister loved
Not
it.
Suzuki, Geo. That's
No,
what I was thinking
Geo.
of.
Yeah, yeah. And my sister loved it. And so my
She
dad,
did.
when she turned 16, my dad went out and he had a friend that this is how he got all his cars. He had a friend that had a dealership that would go to the auction, and he'd tell him, "Give me the best car you can get for $500." That's how he got his cars. And so this guy comes. He tells my dad
I
tells
tell
this
you,
guy,
Mike, I know how to negotiate.
oh my god! So he tells this guy, I can't remember the guy's name, but he tells this guy, "Hey, go get me a tracker for my daughter. It's her birthday. She's turning 16. She wants a tracker." And this guy comes back with a fucking stick shift tracker. And my sister, I tried to teach her. Norm tried to teach her. I don't know if my mom tried to teach her because she can't drive anyway. But we all tried to teach her. And you remember, my sister just was very skittish when it came to anything risky. And driving stick shift at 16 was like the riskiest thing she could fucking do. She just
Yeah.
wasn't comfortable. She fucking hated the car. So fast forward, I had a old Volkswagen Golf that was stick shift, that was like on its last legs, falling apart. And so
That
when
was like
that
your
thing,
first car, right?
yeah,
That's
so
I
when
have
that thing
distinct
fell,
memories of that. It was like red, right? Or dark
yeah, it
red.
was like maroon, yeah. So when that thing fell
Yeah.
apart, he traded it. He took it to the auction and resold it, and he gave me the fucking tracker. So I had this fucking
That's
stick
right.
shift tracker.
And
So
everybody
then,
had the tracker for
okay, so my mom had a white tracker. I had a white tracker that was stick shift. And then this is where it got stupid. So then my dad had a car. I can't remember which car he had. I think he had the old Oldsmobile that maybe my sister was
yeah.
driving
So
around.
you guys had that
That
something
like
with a
gray
C.
Oldsmobile or something.
Yeah,
So my dad
Calais.
took that and he had a car and I don't remember what happened, but basically he took it to the mechanic. The mechanic fucking fixed it, and it was winter in Connecticut, and the mechanic took it for a test drive, hit a patch of ice, and totaled the car.
That's right.
So this motherfucker then goes back to the guy and says, you know, he got his payout from the insurance company, whatever it was. Again, here's $500. Go get me the best car you can get. And I shit you not, the motherfucker comes home with a purple tracker stick shift.
That's right.
So we had a white automatic tracker, we had a white stick shift tracker, and we had a purple stick shift tracker. You couldn't make this shit up. And finally, I was like, I don't want this fucking car, Dad. Like I'm done. So I don't know how long we had 3 trackers for, but there was a point in time there where the Curlin family had 3 trackers in our household.
I'm so sorry. My it's so weird. I love that story, and my headphones have been failing. It's weird. Keep getting quieter and quieter. So I had my production assistant help me out here. One sec. Just fill the time right now.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
Wires.
Are you splicing in the new headset?
Oh my God, I can hear you again. That's great. God, it was progressively getting quieter and quieter with the Geo Tracker stories. But those are the days,
only on
dude.
your feed. Those were the days. I was probably listening to Spoon and driving around Cranberry Park.
You weren't listening to Spoon. You were listening to Cypress.
That's probably true.
And Busta.
That is probably true.
And of course, Woo.
Of course. So yeah, man.
Oh, and Maroon 5. I got to get a couple of shots in. Come on.
Still, I mean, I don't care, bro. I went to go see Maroon 5 in concert in LA 5 years ago.
Okay.
Why not?
You know what? I respect you standing up for what you like. That's what being an adult is. Like, just I cannot stand that motherfucker's voice. But hey,
they you know, but if you actually listen to their catalog, like they've got some good hits, and it's fine, and it was good, like happy music, and I enjoyed their concert. Yeah, I don't care.
It probably also it helps with the ladies too when you're like at least engaged with that kind of.
Dude, the reason I went and saw Maroon 5 before they became big. Me and Eric Satie.
Watch out, you're going to sound like me.
And Mario Granada, 1999. It's probably 2001, 2002. And we went. Eric Satie is very much into music like you and I are. And he was like, hey.
Actually, he showed me some really early Rush, and it blew my mind. I'll never forget that. Anyway, go ahead.
And he was in a band, and he would always back when we were like in our early 20s, just graduated college. He always would have this band. He's like, yo, I'm listening to this new band. They're playing in like some little tiny fucking like hole in the wall in the city. He's like, let's go check him out. And I was like, okay. So we went in. The first one he got was Maroon 5 and Gavin DeGraw. And both of those guys blew up. And at the time, they were nobodies. And that was pretty cool to see them and watch their career trajectory. But then he took me to see Eric Church in New York City when he had just released his first album. And I wasn't even into country at the time. And I was like, I don't, you know, I think it was lost on me at the point.
I always figured Gavin DeGraw was country, but it sounds like a country name.
Gavin DeGraw is kind of like piano.
Is he like Keith Urban?
No.
Who is very much not urban, but is a very good guitar player.
He's kind of like, he's not, I'm not going to compare him to like he's not like Billy Joel or Elton John, but it's the
Okay.
same. Like he plays the piano and sings. I don't know but he's
Okay.
pop. He's pop. So I don't know.
Yeah.
He's whatever. He's fine. He's had a couple of hits too, but not of the career that Maroon 5 had. But you've heard his song, a couple of his songs, I'm sure.
Maybe.
But Eric Church, man, I mean that guy he might not still be on top of the country world, but he was on top of the country world for a good 5 years. And I saw him when he released his first album when he was like a up and coming guy in New York City, and I was like, damn, that was a
Okay. Yeah. It's really cool doing that. Like, I guess my only indie cred is seeing like TV and the radio in a tiny club. I don't even know if you know who those guys are, but great band. Check them out. Nope. TV on the radio, not in the radio, Doug.
No.
TV on the radio.
But I do remember when you and I used to frequent Toad's Club in New
man,
Haven?
Toad's Place.
Toad's Place.
Speaking of that, first time I saw Spoon, so many bands, including my brothers. Shout out to Shaky Eighths. I think that was like 2012-ish. Yeah, John's played the Toad stage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. Congratulations, John.
I video that somewhere.
Did you have a full house?
There was a good like 5 people there. It was great. No, they were they were opening. It was like some kind of, I don't know, but it wasn't a packed house. No.
Did you see the guy? I think his name, I don't know. One of the guys from Migos has beef with Chris Brown, and he went. He went and did a concert. The guy from Migos in Connecticut. It might have been Toad's Place, and Chris Brown apparently went online and bought all the tickets so that nobody would show up.
That's hilarious. So I had no idea that happened.
It was pretty awesome. Like there was probably like 100 people in the crowd, and all the other tickets got bought. It was pretty awesome. So
Toads is great. I love clubs like that where you're like, wow, if a fire started, we'd be all dead. It's just a throwback club.
When we would also all play Russian roulette with, let's see, we'll all drink normally and see who's the soberest to drive home the 40 minutes.
Well, let's not talk about that. But one time I saw the guy from Meat Puppets in the bathroom at Toad's, maybe smoking the biggest joint I've ever seen in my life. And I said, hey, man, nice set. And he said, fuck you, or something. Or you like just turned his back. And I was like, I love it. But like, like you could wander around Toads and like go see like the green room and stuff. And there's like stuff in the walls, and like James Brown played here. And it's like, that stuff is cool, man. It's like CBGB's, but like that's gone now probably.
Did you know what I mean? Go to CBGB's?
I was too young and too dorky. Too young and too dorky, man. That shit was. I think that shit was
open. It was still open when we were over 20.
In like the late, I guess.
It was definitely still open.
It was way past its prime. It was probably like.
Yes, it was playing
Disney World.
No, it was exactly what you just described Toad's Place as.
No,
but it was like,
I mean,
it was like a DJ playing music in there.
Speaking of bands I love, Talking Heads, Blondie, fucking Devo again. But yeah, you're right. I should have hit CB's. I never did. Ouch. I'm going to think about that now.
I did. Once. Just so you know.
For who? Gavin DeGraw?
No, it was a random night, and I was like, oh, CBGB's. I need to go into CBGB's once and get a drink and see who's fucking playing. So
I'm fucking jealous.
It was a DJ. So
yeah, that means it wasn't CBGB's anymore, right? Like that wasn't the home of the Ramones anymore, probably.
No, I mean it looked the same, I'm sure, but it was definitely not what it once was. So.
The Mets have to play the Braves and the Phillies, so it might be a different kind of tone next week, or it could be any tone next week. Let's see how it goes, right?
Yeah, we got 3 against the Braves and 4 home and home, 2-2 against the Phils.
Yep.
I don't know. Let's see how we.
Everybody's rested.
Everyone's rested. We got 2 days off. We needed it. Pete had a good series in St. Louis.
He did. He's looking a little. There's some life in that bat. Maybe.
Yeah, everyone is everyone's coming to life except our catching situation offensively is trash.
Did you see how much worse we are compared to everybody else in throwing runners out? It's like not even
Yeah, it's
close.
like a throwback to like when Syndergaard was on the team.
Yeah.
Throw anybody.
Yeah. Or like going back to the 80s when I hate to say it, Gary Carter was on the team against those Whitey teams. But Narvaez has been absolutely awful. This team, I don't remember if I mentioned it last week, but this team really, really, really misses Francisco Alvarez right now.
Really misses him, yes.
Like the lineup especially is so much longer or just harder to deal with as a pitcher probably because you get that free out with Nido or Narvaez.
Yes. I think, he'll be back at the end of June probably, or maybe right after. I'd assume right after the All-Star.
Hopefully around Senga time, right?
Yeah, hopefully we get both those guys.
But it's going to be interesting because they might have a 6-man rotation, if not more, coming up there. I mean, it's going to be a numbers game at some point. You don't want to see really Budo or Scott go down, but we'll see how they handle it with McGill, Peterson, and Senga coming back.
I think the depth is something that we've worked on this year, that Stearns worked on, and
it's always been a problem.
You can see it, even though Joey Wendell is been subpar so far this year.
Counting the days to Luis Acuna. Just counting the days.
I mean, he's not doing anything down in Syracuse. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So I don't see Wendell getting off this team anytime soon. He is the only backup middle infielder that we have.
Although I'd argue that Jose Iglesias, who has been raking, I know it's AAA, could do the job too.
He could, and he may very well be the next man up.
I think he might be.
So, but yeah, other than that, JD's been getting accustomed to being in this lineup, which I don't think it's any coincidence that
there's no power yet, but he's still warming up.
He's still warming up, but Pete's finally got some pitches to hit the last couple of games, and he's not swinging at fucking shit in the dirt. Yeah, I mean, maybe he goes back to that tonight. It's only been 2 games. But, I don't know, man. The bullpen's been pretty fantastic for the most part of the year.
Oh, absolutely.
We're not hitting great, but we have our games here and there. And our starting pitching has been average. So hopefully we can, we've said it all year. We're trending to be a 500 team. I like Mendoza's utilization of the bench and keeping guys fresh and rotating guys in and out of the lineup so that everyone's getting at bats and we're not just running the same guys out there every day.
Right.
And I think that's been good. And hopefully these starting pitchers can settle down and Scott and Buto can keep pitching well, and we'll go from there. I mean, Quintana was crap his last time out, but hopefully I don't know.
Right.
Is he pitching tonight or did they skip him? Because
I think it goes Q, Scott, and then I forget who's pitching Sunday. So
Severino?
Q tonight. Yeah, probably Sevi. And
cool.
I don't know. Yeah, like Manaeus had one bad outing. I think 7 runs. Other than that, he's like under 2 ERA. He's actually been really good.
Yeah.
Basically, other than Hauser, who's lost his job, everybody is kind of.
He lost his job to Scott. Right?
Scott and Budo, basically.
Yeah. I'm not overly concerned with that. Hopefully, he can be the long man and be the guy that Michael Tonkin could not be.
Yeah, and let's just say it again until it runs out. Reed Garrett, you're the man, dude.
You're the man.
Fucking man.
Keep doing what you're doing. All right, Douglas.
Man, we got to wrap this up. Let's do another hour on music. No, you're out of gas. Clearly, please get better, Mike. We're all rooting for you.
I will say, if I can get better by next week's show, I may even join you in an alcoholic beverage.
Oh shit! I'm going to be out of the country next week.
Okay, well, we will figure out next week's show.
Yeah, I will be in the DR.
Nice.
And so maybe I will log in. Maybe I won't, though. Doubt I will, but who knows?
We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out.
We'll talk. Maybe I'll say hi from my phone. That's a good week to have Josh on to talk football, by the way.
There you go. What do you got to say to the audience?
Oh, this is my favorite part of every year, or one of my favorite parts of every year, but hockey version. Vaya con Dios, Toronto Maple Leafs. John Tavares, first round exit again. Bye-bye. No soup for you.
Coach. They fired the coach.
Oh, so sorry.
Bye-bye, Sheldon Keefe.
Fuck you, John. John Tavares. John O'Keefe, you're cool. Just put in a toilet, though.
Fuck you, John Tavares. Pajama boy. Anywho, it's been 7 years. You think we'd get over 6 years? You think we'd get over?
Nope, still a hater.
Yep, go fuck yourself. All right, cool. Well, it's been a great show, audience, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. All right.